We've kept our guest waiting long enough, and she is pressed for time. We want to get her on here.
Yeah.
She's an investigative journalist. She's the author of the book The Bottle of Lies and the book Dangerous Doses, and she's a special correspondent at Vanity Fair. Katherine Eban, welcome to
Katherine
the 5
Eban!
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're thrilled to have you.
Yes. Now, I know you're pressed for time, so you've been on what I would call the medical beat for a while now. And you've written a series of articles going back to but you can see tracing back. Oh my God, RFK is coming. Oh my God, I think they're really going to do this. Oh my God, RFK has these terrible things he's going to do. And we've now into the point where RFK is doing the terrible things. So you had a great piece that's called "The Expert Who Kept Eye Drops from Blinding You Was Fired Yesterday." So that cheered me up. So tell everybody what's going on with this guy. I had a bunch of questions, and then you listed things that I didn't even write down. So I will give you the floor to tell us what we should worry about or be paying attention to.
Well, there is a whole lot to worry about, unfortunately. We are in the middle of basically an unprecedented science experiment, which is, what happens when you let a vaccine skeptic, which is charitable, ascend to the highest healthcare post in the country. He's in charge. His Maha coalition, is running the roost, and their views range everything from sort of the reasonable sounding, which is, let's get food dye out of Fruit Loops, to let's dismantle the vaccine industrial complex and blow up the childhood vaccination schedule under the banner of medical freedom. And what we've seen out of the gate is the mass firing of government health employees, so much so that, there are just whole positions and functions that have been zeroed out. Who needs lead remediation for kids and, milk safety screening? Now, they have said they're not going to cut any inspectors, any food or drug inspectors. But the problem is they've cut everybody around those people, So do you want your expert investigator for the FDA preparing to go visit that aseptic manufacturing plant in India, studying past violations from the plant, trying to figure out what employees to talk to? Or do you want them spending their time on Expedia looking for a plane ticket and, at a government rate? We are making it so impossible for the remaining government employees to do their critical jobs. Now, I also wrote a story, Greg and Stephanie, about the guy who's heading up now food safety at the FDA. And his qualification is that he was Don Jr.'s hunting buddy. And there's a picture of them both holding up, two dead turkeys. So one reader was like, which ones are the turkeys? It was so, we're just looking at an experiment for which there is no precedent. I was struck by the fact that Mark Carney, who, won in Canada, who triumphed in Canada.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Just announced, hey, Canada is going to expand free dental care for its citizens. And I'm like, okay, they're doing that. And what are we doing? We're cutting fluoride from the drinking water, which is like fluoride in the drinking water has been one of the great public health innovations. So
Texas is coming for toothpaste. I just read before the show. They don't want fluoride in the toothpaste in Texas. So.
Right. Well, they have good thing that they're on to that. They have also got another little minor health issue, which is there is this massive measles outbreak in Texas and everywhere else. They're worried about the toothpaste, but I think they need to be more worried about measles. Now, there have been so many that, cuts to funding for vaccination, it's not just the federal government, it's the money from the federal government that trickled down to the states, so that Texas has had to cancel a lot of its stations where they did vaccinations. You've got a measles outbreak raging out of control. Now, RFK Jr. did give, under a lot of pressure, did give a sort of tepid endorsement to the MMR vaccine, which is the long-studied, highly effective, proven to be safe vaccines for measles, mumps, and rubella. He was under a lot of pressure. Like in a normal universe, we'd be running mass vaccination campaigns in Texas and elsewhere where we saw measles.
Right.
Under a lot of pressure, he gave a tepid endorsement to the vaccines, and then pivoted to say cod liver oil and vitamin A is super great. There are these terrific healers in Texas who have been using them to great effect. What happened? There are kids showing up in Texas ERs with vitamin A poisoning.
Yeah.
The toxicity, right? I mean, he just the other day, was it yesterday? I lose track of time because every day is like a year.
Yep.
He said that there was aborted fetal debris in the MMR vaccines.
Right.
I don't even know what that is, but it isn't in there. So,
it's just one garbage crank conspiracy. Today it was the chemtrails are real and we're going to study because it's a grand conspiracy, and the US is trying to get rid of toxic chemicals by putting it in jet fuel, and then it's coming down and raining on us and it's controlling our brains. And this is, it's Bigfoot is coming. Bigfoot's coming. It's just a crank. So what is your opinion about him, Katherine? I want to ask, is this, and maybe it doesn't matter, do you think why does he want to engage in all of this real mental illness? Is it his of just spewing these paranoid theories based on absolutely no science whatsoever? In fact, in contrary, have been disproven over and over again. And it just, he has to keep coming back to it. And it's what the hell is going on with this guy? What's happening?
Let's roll the tape backward a little and look at his past. So he was at Children's Health Defense, which is an organization that he built up. It was highly profitable for him. He made millions dissing vaccines. He built up a big coalition, and it's quite sad. So he built up a coalition of moms.
Yep.
Who were very certain that their children were vaccine injured. And, because they had sort of symptoms of autism, early, and you get vaccinated early, and they believed that their children were vaccine injured. So, for years, he had those moms and a lot of them were from the left,
oh, yeah.
Organic eating Berkeley moms. Who were his, coalition. Then fast forward to COVID, and this massive rebellion on the right against vaccine mandates, school closures, masking, right? And his message resonated, and these were a whole bunch of people who were trapped in their houses doing their own research, right? Now, some of these people, there's the growth of the medical freedom movement. Some of them think, okay, COVID-19 was not a real virus. The pandemic didn't actually occur. And this was just a sort of effort by the global elite to control us, right? So now, coming into the 2024 election, he's got those people. So he's got this left and this right coalition, right? And now he's like the dog that caught the car, because now he's in charge, and everybody who's going to die from not getting a vaccine, that's on him, essentially, right? I mean, he's in charge of American health. So what is he going to do? So now he's like alternately sowing doubt and giving tepid endorsement to the vaccines. And let me tell you, when he did that, when he gave tepid endorsement to the vaccines, he got massive, massive blowback from the MAHA Alliance, his Make America Healthy Again coalition. So, a lot of people that I'm talking to in the sort of MAHA world see him as sort of stuck, right? He's got to run the place. He's supposed to be responsible. Now, look at somebody like Senator Bill Cassidy, doctor who built his medical career and his Senate career on promoting vaccination. He was promoting hepatitis B vaccination. His vote was pivotal to get RFK Jr.'s nomination out of committee. You could see watching this guy, he did not want to vote for him, right? So he extracts these assurances from RFK Jr. He's not going to blow up the childhood vaccination schedule. He's going to follow the science. He's going to support the vaccines. All he wants is good science. He just wants the best research, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now.
So it gets Bill Cassidy's vote. So where are we at on that? Has RFK Jr., in terms of what he swore under oath in the Senate confirmation hearings, where are we at with how much of that has he broken?
It's a really good question. I mean, it is not looking great. There's a lot of stuff that he's doing which is sort of undermining of vaccines. So he just made this announcement, which was like, we want everybody to do their own research and make their own decisions. Okay, well, what kind of research are you going to do? Try going on Twitter and asking, like, are vaccines safe? I mean, or shall I say X? So, you've got a situation where everybody's doing their own research in an environment that is completely saturated with medical disinformation and anti-vax stuff.
Well, and saturated and an audience of people, especially in the vaccine skeptical or anti-vax, that truly doesn't understand science at all. Like it's very you have people doing their own research who don't know, right? Doing my own research, who don't understand what the principles of a scientific study even are, what it means when you have findings, what they don't understand how the mechanics of science.
Yeah.
So they can't measure something, a study, and all the research that they're doing. They're doing their own research, but they're doing their research about research, and they think that, well, I just don't like it, or that doesn't fit my narrative. Therefore, this thing over here does, and therefore, I've done research. That's
look,
like the great irony.
And some of these folks in the MAHA world are extremely persuasive. I mean, you listen to these guys talk about,
like Joe Rogan.
The food supply is poison, and the seed oils are killing us, and the food dye is like death, and and I'm like, even and I'm like an absolute ardent skeptic for a living. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like running and looking at my kids, like the ingredient list in her lemonade. So I'm like, it's super hard, you know.
It's hard, and that's where that stuff has power, in that there's truths woven in throughout these the disinformation and the grand conspiracies. And
Right.
so that's what hooks people, you know, and creates an inability to sort of discern. But
Right.
again, if folks understood, when it comes to medical science, efficacy of vaccines, the process through which, you know, a drug gets to market, any of those kinds of things, the role of the Food and Drug Administration in regulating, you know, instead of collapsing, and the role of the National Institute of Health and the CDC and what that expertise is about, and how we do need that, because the drug companies are, I'm sorry, they operate like big crime families. Like,
you know,
happen to
no,
know
I
that
mean,
for a fact.
I spent 10 years investigating pharmaceutical fraud and stuff that goes on in Indian and Chinese manufacturing plants.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, what people don't understand, like when they're saying, you know, we got to shrink the government, it's so wasteful, it's full of fraud, waste, and abuse. And it was like, do you understand? Like, you want to put something in your body that, like, no FDA inspector has checked out.
Right.
I mean, all these supplements that the Maha world loves, and it's like they're all made in manufacturing plants that possibly have never been inspected by the FDA.
Correct.
The statements they make have not been vetted. I mean, you don't know what the hell you're getting.
Right.
So,
And now we've done away with consumer protections. So it's even worse. I just want to let everybody know, you're saying MAHA, and if we have audience that doesn't know, that's Make America Healthy Again, which is RFK's slogan.
yeah.
Stupid slogan. Now you have to go because it's 8:45, and I said that we would release you at 8:45. So is there any parting words that you want to share before we send you into the night?
Well, I am seriously concerned about the safety of our food supply, the safety of our drug supply, the integrity of our science. We are in for a rough ride, and I think people need to be careful what they wish for, because we're in a place where a lot of things can go wrong.
Oh boy. All right, Katherine, where can folks find you? Let's let everybody know where they can find you.
So on that positive note,
yeah.
KatherineEban.com is my website.
Great.
I'm on X at Katherine Eban. I'm also on Blue Sky, but I can't even remember my handle there. It's something
so
like,
there's many periods. It's
at Katherine Eban something. And I'm always happy to hear from people. You can email me, contact me through my website. Yeah. And also you can check out all my articles on Vanity Fair. And here's what I would say, which is, you complain about a paywall, subscribe. We all need to subscribe.
Okay.
Support, as Timothy Snyder would say, support your institutions.
Amen. Those are good parting words.
News.
Katherine Eban, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Katherine.